Chelsea, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. I thought you said he was the director, Mary Jo. You had to direct them
Force
a
of
little
habit.
bit.
Force of habit.
That's
Sorry.
a beautiful thing. And when you've been together for a lot of years as a group, then you can do things like that, huh? It is
I
Indiana
do
in the
anyway.
morning.
So.
Presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Mary Jo Bowes, you're here quite often. These two gentlemen over here, I don't think you guys have ever been in on Indiana in the morning, have you?
No.
No.
I think I may have a long time ago.
Back in another century.
Back
huh?
when the other century.
Mary Jo, who have you brought with you from Indiana Players?
This is David Tabish, who is directing
Mm-hmm.
and compiled what he just told you about.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ed Simpson, the writer and director of the play that I'm appearing in. I haven't acted in almost 12 years.
Really?
So it's fun
Well-
and scary, and I'm having a good time because I'm working with my partner here.
Yeah.
And we've done a
Wonderful.
lot of shows. We did a lot of summer shows together, the three of us, at IUP.
Uh-huh.
And Ed and I were in a show together,
Mhm.
if he remembers.
I do. In summer of 1981, California Suite.
Thought it was
Wow.
83.
81.
Do not mess with Ed. He knows his stuff.
yeah.
Conversation, by the way, brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And so it's called The Drama of Love, Then and Now. Is that what you told me, David?
Yes, that is the title.
Yeah, and you're the director.
I am the director. I compiled the first part, which is Shakespeare, several love scenes, particularly Beatrice and Benedict from Much Ado About Nothing, connected by narration. And then the second half is a story of an elder, if you like, or a somewhat aging, long-married couple. Mary Jo didn't like it.
Long-suffering couple.
Said that gracefully, huh? First he called you elderly, and then he said you were aging. So you're elderly and aging. Nice.
No, not us, but the marriage is elderly and aging.
Yeah, we're just actors.
That's it. I love the story of Beatrice and Benedict from Much Ado.
It's a lovely piece, and of course this is not Much Ado. This is just the Beatrice Benedict scenes, with some narration connecting them so that you can make the connection. But it really is the summary of what their relationship goes through from beginning to end, and how it changes and where it changes.
What a dynamic it is, that couple. My goodness. Who's playing those roles?
Liz Ann Porter and Bill Herring. And then the other scenes are a small scene from Romeo and Juliet.
Katrina
As You Like
Caden
It.
and Eric Whitmer
Oh,
are
okay.
doing Romeo and Juliet. All of these are familiar names with the players. That's why I'm bringing it up.
It's a company of 5, and they played various roles as well as the ensemble where they do the narration. So for me, it's been an exciting process. Last year, we did the same Beatrice Benedict work online as a Zoom production, and I wanted to sort of bring it into live theater just to see what would happen with it. So it's much more complex, much more interactive, much more dynamic, I believe, as a piece on stage.
Yeah. Now, Ed Simpson, let's talk a little bit about the second half of the program, your half of the program.
Tenderness.
And you put this together. Tell me how.
Well, I was flying out of I got stranded in the Atlanta airport. I was coming from I had some meetings in Birmingham, and I forgot to change my watch. They were on Central Time, and so I thought I had plenty of time in Atlanta, and then realized my plane.
That's how Tennessee Williams wrote "Cat on."
It may very well be. So I went into a little sports bar, and then I had to wait another 2 hours. So I sat there, and there was a couple right next to me, and they were clearly mature couple,
elderly,
and
they were veterans.
Yeah, they were veterans, and they were clearly having an argument, and I got them in the middle of an argument, and she just said, "It's an airport," and he says, "I know," and she said, "I mean, it's an airport." He says, "I know," and it just intrigued me so much. I pulled out my notebook and I wrote those 4 lines down, and then I ignored them, and I sat there and wrote for about 45 minutes, just sort of sketching out real quickly, and then finished it up. So that was basically how the play started, and it was just a couple who've been married for, what do we say, 35 years.
Yeah.
And
So are we going to get real-time dialogue from this couple, or did most of it come?
whether the first four lines, if they were to see this play, they go, "My God, deja vu! It sounds familiar." But other than that, the rest of it's all made up. I was just wondering maybe what was going on, and I was, like everything else, you sort of work on what you're experiencing in your own life to a certain extent, and I didn't really realize I was writing a play. I was just sort of passing the time, but it was fun to write, and it's these guys are terrific. When we've all worked together and many times. I think the last time we were all in another play of mine called A Point of Order, and I directed in 2002.
And
we directed in it's 1990 something, 97 and 2002. So that was the last time all three of us worked together on that project. So
wow. And what was it like, Mary Jo, to sit down with these guys around a table, and then to actually put it up on the stage for you?
Well, familiar.
Old times.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was just like it's always been. Okay.
And we had sort of a modern spin or contemporary spin on it because I live in North Carolina, and so we were rehearsing via Zoom, which everyone's gotten used to now because of the quarantine and everything. Life, contemporary life. So it was. It was great to get in the same room yesterday and actually see and touch each other and be able to communicate that way.
First time together.
He can see my raised eyebrows.
That's right. Oh, now that makes a difference.
So after doing it by Zoom and now being able to do it in person, is it translating the way that you thought that it would from paper to actual?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, it's Zoom, but it helped a lot that we all knew each other so well anyway. I mean, and they're very good in the parts, and the parts are very good for them. It really was. I felt it was kind of effortless. It's like, okay, it's.
But I'd hate the Zoom because I can't stand looking at myself in that little screen.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would not want.
I'd
to
rather
do that
look in a
either.
mirror than look in a camera.
Well, David, when you put these two into an actual room together after, and I'm assuming you were a part of the Zoom rehearsals for all of this time as well.
Yes.
When you put them into an actual room together, that probably just opens up whole new avenues for you, doesn't it?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's what we did on Zoom was basically work on ideas and give suggestions. But it's really, it's a theater space, and when you're in the theater space, and even Mary Jo and I have worked outside of the space some. But once you're in the space and you have the environment, I mean, an environment I think is very important.
Yeah, Dave and I were talking last night after the rehearsal, and I've been doing this for so long, and it's for me the excitement is I enjoy performance. I mean, that's the reason you do it, for an audience. But what I find actually the most rewarding is the building of it, the working on it,
absolutely.
the picking at little moments.
The process.
And it's hard work, but it's so rewarding. And then if you do that work, and then when you go and perform, then that's the dessert. I mean,
Is it compressed a little bit because basically when you're doing it on Zoom, it's a table read, and then now you're in person, and here comes the show.
Sure.
I mean, it's here.
Sure.
Well, and we normally the Indiana players would only rehearse it in the evening, and I knew Ed was coming to town the last week,
And we're old and aged, and we have
and so we have
free.
schedules for afternoon so that we can compress, as we did at IUP in the summer, the summer theater, where we worked an 8-hour-a-day job.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working hours during the day and then rehearsing at night as well.
Right.
Yeah. So not only aged,
That's
but
why you have no
aging.
cookies.
That's why I have no cookies.
That's right.
And so I can blame these two guys.
Yes, you can.
Specifically him for being in North Carolina all this time.
Yeah.
Hey, we only have a couple of moments left. Let's tell people when the show is and how they can get tickets.
So the show is this weekend and next weekend, February 4, 5, 6, and February 11, 12, 13. It's a Valentine's Day sort of concept.
Mm-hmm.
And performances are at 7:30 in the evening, and on Sunday matinees at 2:30. Tickets at the door. I think online you can get tickets as
Pretty
well.
sure.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, it's called The Drama of Love Then and Now. Thank you all for coming in.
And thank you.
Thank you,
It's been a
Todd.
joy. It's been a joy. We ought to do this more often. It is the
Okay,
voice
Todd.
of Indiana County, and bring cookies. It's
I
the
will.
voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.